The Galactic Empire's flagship, the Imperator Majestus, hung like a dark monolith in Earth's upper atmosphere. Its surface gleamed cold and silent, dozens of kilometers long, outfitted with weapons that could erase continents with ease. From its massive observation deck, Ambassador Krell's compound eyes flicked over the tiny blue marble below, expecting the usual nervous scrambling of a newly contacted civilization. Instead, what greeted him was the strangest spectacle he had ever witnessed: a live, globally broadcast meeting with Earth's self-proclaimed leaders, and they looked utterly unbothered. No ceremonial robes, no bowed heads, just casual clothing, sipping from mugs, smirking into cameras. Welcome to Earth. A woman with a messy ponytail and a hoodie grinned. Sorry, no red carpet. We figured, why waste a good carpet when you can just chill? Behind her, a man, wearing pajamas and a t-shirt holding a coffee mug with "World's Okayest Leader" printed on it, gave a thumbs up. Another waved a slice of pepperoni pizza. Krell blinked. His compound eyes twitched involuntarily. Is this some kind of diplomatic insult? Diplomatic? We like to keep it real, the woman said. Look, you're the Galactic Empire, right? Big, shiny ship, super serious. We're humans. We drink coffee, tell bad jokes, and occasionally argue about whether pineapple belongs on pizza. We don't do formalities. On the Empire's bridge, senior officers murmured anxiously. Protocol dictated that first contact was a display of dominance and respect. Here, Earth's representatives treated it like a backyard barbecue. Ambassador Krell hissed General Vaughn, the Empire's military commander. Demand they remove their casual attire. This is an affront to imperial dignity. Krell hesitated. General, I advise. Patience. Suddenly, the Earth feed cut out for a moment, and returned with a garbled image. But a familiar voice rang out, distorted and chuckling. This is Captain Jox, hacking from Earth's net. Hey, Empire folks. Enjoy your stay. P.S. We replaced your broadcast with this remix. The screen flickered, and suddenly the Empire's official anthem played with a funky beat overlaid with human laughter tracks and cat videos. The officers on the Imperator Majestus went pale. Jox's hack had turned their solemn first contact broadcast into the galactic equivalent of a prank call. Back on Earth. The woman in the hoodie laughed. So, who wants to talk about galactic submission again? Because here, submission means taking a number and waiting in line for coffee. Krell's antenna twitched with irritation, but also confusion. This species was unpredictable. Across the globe, humans watched, entertained by the spectacle. News anchors half-jokingly debated whether Earth should surrender. Immediately because, how do you fight something you can't take seriously? Memes exploded across social media, with humans photoshopping the Empire's intimidating warships into rubber ducks and captioning it, "Quack quack, you're doomed." At NASA, Dr. Lian Chen shook her head, amused. These aliens are huge and scary, but Earth's strength is its chaos. Look at them, they don't bow, don't fear. They laugh. Krell summoned the Earth representatives to a second live meeting, hoping to regain control. This time, the Empire's massive ship loomed closer, casting a shadow over Earth's largest city's silent threat. But the humans were unfazed. A teenage activist, joining the call from a skate park, grinned ear to ear. Hey Krell, you guys come in peace, right? Because if not, I'm about to drop a sick beat about how the Empire's got no chill. Krell blinked. The Empire's translation matrix struggled with slang and human sarcasm, often producing nonsensical phrases in Imperial. Common, explain. Sick beat, Krell demanded. The teenager shrugged. It's music, but, you know, cool and loud. Like for making enemies think twice before messing with Earth. Music as a weapon, Krell muttered. Yeah, and humor too. You'd be surprised how disarming laughter can be. The Empire's crew began to realize their intimidation tactics were backfiring spectacularly. Meanwhile, Earth's diplomats made a surprising counteroffer, a joint cultural exchange. Instead of imperial edicts and mandates, humans suggested sharing music, food, and most baffling of alchemy, comedy. Krell repeated, You mock us? Nope. We laugh with you, or at you. Sometimes both. It's how we survive, how we thrive, said the woman in the hoodie. Trust me, once you try roasting a dictator, you never go back. The Empire's Command Council was thrown into turmoil. How could a race that laughed in the face of annihilation be conquered? What weapon could silence that? General Vaughn was less philosophical. This is madness. They must be crushed. Krell sighed. Perhaps, General, we first learn what makes them laugh. As the Imperator Majestus lingered in orbit, Earth continued their broadcasts full of memes, jokes, and open invitations to the galaxy's most unexpected diplomacy. A roast battle between the Empire and humanity. In that moment, the galaxy learned something new. Humans don't just face the unknown, they throw a party while doing it. The Galactic Empire's flagship, Imperator Majestus, hung silently in orbit, a behemoth of order and precision. Its ambassador Krell, still trying to comprehend the chaotic oddity that was humanity, prepared for the next diplomatic session. This time, the Empire demanded something simple: speak to Earth's Central Planetary Authority. Krell expected a centralized government, a single ruler, or at least a hierarchy he could bow to and negotiate with. What he got instead was confusion. Earth's representatives assembled in the sprawling United Nations headquarters, a veritable babel of flags, languages, and conflicting agendas. Krell's voice crackled through the comm system. Identify your central governing body. We require a clear leader to negotiate terms of submission. An earnest young woman with wild curls leaned into her mic. Oh, submission. No, sorry. Don't do that here. We have presidents, prime ministers, governors, mayors, tribal councils, TikTok influencers, and even a few self-proclaimed anarchists. Good luck picking one. Behind her, an older man with a scruffy beard waved from a cluttered office. Hey, I'm the mayor of Hoboken. Should I sign? Across the world, millions tuned in as Earth's political cacophony unfolded live. Like a surreal reality show. Krell's antenna twitched nervously. This is highly irregular. There is no order. This will not do. Meanwhile, on Earth, a group of MIT grad students huddled in a basement lab, grinning wildly. Hey guys, want to have a little fun? Said Maya, a mischievous hacker. Definitely, replied Jox, the same prankster who'd earlier hijacked the Empire's broadcast. Within minutes, the Imperator Majestus's official communication channel began to glitch. Suddenly, Imperial announcements were peppered with viral internet memes, cat videos, and most baffling of Alan, endless loop of Neon Empire. A remix of the Empire's anthem mashed with a pop song about a flying cat. The officers gasped. What is this? Blasphemy. Jox's voice echoed through the comm channel, dripping with sarcasm. Welcome to Earth's diplomacy. You asked for a centralized authority. Here's a centralized source of chaos. Back on Earth, the diplomats leaned into the absurdity. A particularly bold UN ambassador announced, "If you want to negotiate, you'll have to get through our bureaucratic spaghetti first. Good luck." The Empire's envoys tried to maintain their composure but failed. An Imperial envoy accidentally joined a live-streamed global Zoom call that was meant for conspiracy theorists debating if cats were secretly controlling the government. He sat frozen for a full 10 minutes, watching humans argue passionately about lizard people and flat Earth. "This is a strategic failure," Krell muttered. But the humans didn't stop. Across continents, they held simultaneous memetic summits, sessions where they debated which memes best represented human unity, complete with audience participation and viral hashtag contests. The Empire's rigid protocols crumbled under waves of unpredictable human energy at one point. Krell attempted to impose imperial protocol, demanding that all future meetings be conducted with proper dress, formal introductions, and decorum. Earth's reply: a viral video featuring diplomats dressed as stormtroopers riding segways through the halls, set to a remix of the Empire's battle theme and a pop song called Chaotic Good Vibes. The Empire's military command grew restless. "Ambassador Krell, this is insubordination." General Vaughn shouted over the cum. "These humans mock us openly. We must respond with force." Krell hesitated. Force against a species that seems to thrive on disorder and ridicule. "Are you certain that we'll succeed?" "Absolutely," Vaughn growled. "They will learn submission, or they will learn destruction." But Krell had begun to notice something unusual. Despite their chaos, humans demonstrated an unshakable unity when it counted. He recalled a broadcast where a teenage activist, defying curfews and warnings, rallied millions online to plant trees across the planet simultaneously, at the same time, in a coordinated act of solidarity. Humans didn't have one leader. They had many voices. They disagreed bitterly, but could unite on shared values. Krell's antennae twitched as he considered, could the Empire adapt to such a strange strength? Meanwhile, on Earth, the global mood was far from fearful. In New York City, a crowd gathered outside the United Nations headquarters, holding signs that read, "If the Empire wants order, we'll show them. Our kind of order, and Empire, bring snacks next time." On live feeds, famous human comedians poked fun at the Empire relentlessly. One joked, "The Empire's idea of order is like a 3-year-old's Lego set structured. Sure, but one wrong move and everything falls apart." Another quipped, "If the Empire were a DJ, their set would be nothing but elevator music. Boring, predictable, and no one's dancing." The laughter wasn't just entertainment. It was a weapon. For the first time in history, an entire planet united in collective absurdity, and no imperial edict could stop it. Krell realized this would not be a simple conquest. The humans' chaos was not weakness, but a new kind of strength. Unpredictable and indefatigable. "Prepare the next communication," Krell ordered, "but proceed with caution. This species laughs at fear. We must learn their language of humor." As the Empire's dreadnought loomed large in Earth's skies, the battle for first contact had turned into an unanticipated cultural war, where memes were missiles and laughter a shield, and humanity was just getting started. The Imperator Majestus's command deck buzzed with anticipation. General Vaughn stood rigid, staring at the display of their latest marvel. The Moonbreaker, Canona, Super Weapon, capable of obliterating moons with a single shot. It was the ultimate intimidation tactic, the Empire's ace card to bring Earth to heel. Prepare to demonstrate our power, Vaughn commanded, voice cold as the void. Ambassador Krell hesitated, glancing at Earth's peaceful blue glow below. Are you certain this will achieve the desired effect? We will crush their defiance, Vaughn said, or break their spirits. Either way, victory is assured. The cannon charged. Energy arcs crackled in the void. Beams focused on the moon. Back on Earth, in a backyard in Nebraska, a group of friends gathered around a grill. They wore t-shirts emblazoned with slogans like "I survived First Contact" and "Galactic Empire." More like "Galactic Wimp." "Did you see that?" said Jason, flipping a burger. "Empire's about to blow up the moon." "Bet they've never seen a moon BBQ," laughed Karen, holding a plate of hot dogs. "We're gonna throw a party." On a rooftop in Tokyo, Dr. Lian Chen monitored the Empire's approach with amused detachment. They think destruction will scare us. They don't know we've dealt with natural disasters, pandemics, and bad Wi-Fi. As the Moonbreaker cannon fired, a blinding beam tore through space toward the moon's surface. But just before impact, something unexpected happened. From Earth's orbit, a small, scrappy spaceship appeared, the USS Why Not, piloted by a crew of rogue scientists and engineers who had reverse-engineered Imperial tech for fun. With a deft flick of switches and a few improvised cables, they hacked the Moonbreaker's targeting system. The massive beam deflected, transforming into a spectacular light show from Earth's surface. Billions watched as the moon exploded not into debris, but into a dazzling display of fireworks, colors blooming against the blackness. Jason whistled. "Okay, I admit, that's cool." On the Imperator, Majestus Krell stared at the feed, mouth twitching involuntarily. The humans had turned their ultimate weapon into a cosmic party favor, but it got better. Live streams from the moon's surface showed humans setting up barbecue grills and speakers, playing rock music amid the glowing lunar pyrotechnics. One astronaut raised a flag, not of Earth, but emblazoned with a grinning alien meme and the words, "Your move, Empire." The Empire's officers recoiled. "This is an insult." Jox, the hacker from Earth, broadcast a cheeky message. "Hey, Empire. If you want a rematch, bring snacks. Also, can you send your playlist? We want to add your anthem to the next remix." The Empire's Supreme Commander, observing the debacle, slammed a fist on his console. "How do we fight a species that mocks our most powerful weapon?" Krell was silent, considering. Could fear be their leverage when humanity laughed it off? Meanwhile, the humans weren't just making a spectacle, they were sending a message. Earth would not bow to intimidation. Dr. Chen explained to a stunned Empire delegate, "Humans don't see power the way you do. We survive by laughing in the face of danger. It's our rebellion, our armor." In a makeshift studio on Earth, a popular comedian prepared a special set titled "How to Roast a Galactic Empire." His opening joke, broadcast live galaxy-wide, was simple. "So, the Empire's got a moon-destroying cannon, and we turned it into the universe's biggest fireworks show. What's next? A laser that cooks pizza? Oh wait, they do." The broadcast went viral instantly, triggering waves of laughter across alien species. Even some Empire soldiers, forced to watch from their ships, cracked smiles they quickly tried to suppress. General Vaughn, growing desperate, convened an emergency meeting. "This species is a contagion. Our weapons are useless if they turn against us. Krell sighed. Perhaps we must rethink strategy. But the humans didn't stop with fireworks and jokes. Across the globe, engineers modified, salvaged Imperial tech into bizarre inventions. A fleet of drones that sprayed holographic memes, robotic comedians performing in public squares, and mobile stages broadcasting human music and humor. At a press conference, the woman in the hoodie smiled wryly. We like to call it weaponized laughter, highly effective. From their towering ship, the Empire watched helplessly as Earth's chaotic spirit made their threats impotent. That night, as Earth's cities lit up with spontaneous festivals celebrating the moon's rebirth, Ambassador Krell leaned close to the viewport and whispered, "This is unlike any conquest I have known." The galaxy's most feared empire was facing not just a planet, but a force of nature. Humanity's indomitable will to laugh, unite, and resist. And this was only the beginning. The Galactic Empire's command deck simmered with unease. Ambassador Krell stared at the latest transmission from Earth, an invitation for cultural exchange, not as a sign of submission, but as a declaration of mutual absurdity. This cannot be, muttered General Vaughn, watching clips of humans performing bizarre dances on streets, skateboarding across rooftops, and uploading endless videos of pranks and flash mobs. They are not taking us seriously, but they were serious about being unserious. The Earth delegation's offer was simple. Rather than treaties forged with blood and chains, they proposed exchanges of music, humor, and cultural challenges. In response, the Empire sent a delegation of diplomats draped in ornate robes and stern expressions, bearing traditional gifts, jeweled artifacts, sacred scrolls, and formal proclamations demanding respect. The humans accepted the gifts with a collective shrug. "What do we do with these?" asked Maya, the teenage hacker turned informal Earth envoy. She pulled out a jeweled statuette and turned it over. "Can we use this as a bottle opener?" At a specially arranged meeting, the humans invited the Empire's diplomats to a flash mob in Times Square. The Imperial envoys arrived in full ceremonial regalia, expecting solemn speeches and rigid protocol. Instead, they were met by hundreds of humans suddenly breaking into choreographed dance routines, music blaring from hidden speakers, and confetti cannons exploding overhead. The Empire's delegates froze. "Is this a ritual?" one whispered. "No." Maya grinned. "It's a party." Some Imperial diplomats, accustomed to absolute order and control, were horrified, but others found themselves inexplicably drawn to the infectious energy. One young envoy tentatively tried to mimic a dance move and promptly stumbled, eliciting cheers and laughter from the crowd unexpectedly. This moment sparked something profound. One Imperial officer, Lieutenant Dara, a by-the-book enforcer, found herself joining the crowd's laughter, momentarily shedding the weight of Imperial duty. "This is madness," General Vaughn growled from the command deck. "They are eroding our discipline." Back on Earth, the humans saw the beginnings of cracks in the Empire's facade. Music videos featuring Earth's rock bands surged in popularity among alien viewers. Songs about freedom, rebellion, and the sheer joy of being alive swept across star systems. Alien rebel groups, long oppressed by the Empire, began sending covert messages praising Earth's infectious spirit. In the shadows of the Empire's warships, secret broadcasts played Earth's viral TikTok challenges, inspiring daring acts of defiance. Krell watched, torn. He admired humanity's creativity, but feared the Empire's response. One evening, during a live broadcast, A human comedian joked, "The Empire's biggest weapon isn't their death rays, it's their ability to take themselves way too seriously. We fixed that." Across the galaxy, the message spread like wildfire. Laughter could be rebellion. Then came the flash mob that changed everything. On a crowded plaza in Paris, thousands of humans and a handful of alien defectors gathered for what was planned as a peaceful cultural event. Suddenly, the music shifted to a high-energy beat. People of all species erupted into synchronized dance. Cameras streamed the spectacle live. Imperial forces, unprepared for this form of resistance, hesitated. Some soldiers lowered their weapons. Others began to tap their feet. Lieutenant Dara, watching the broadcast from a ship, felt something shift inside her. Maybe we don't have to be enemies. Her defection soon inspired others. Across Imperial ranks, whispers of doubt grew louder. In a rare meeting of the Empire's High Council, Krell argued for diplomacy and cultural exchange as the path forward. General Vaughn scoffed. "You advocate for peace with a species that mocks us at every turn." "Yes," Krell replied, "because their laughter carries a power we cannot defeat." As Earth's music and humor continued to sweep through star systems, the idea of an empire ruled by fear and oppression began to crumble. The Empire had underestimated the simplest truth. Freedom was more than a political ideal, it was a state of mind, and in that truth, humanity held a secret weapon no superweapon could match. The Galactic Empire's flagship, Imperator Majestus, was alive with nervous energy. Ambassador Krell paced the command deck, eyes flicking to incoming transmissions. The humans had just sent an unexpected invitation, a roast battle, a live interstellar event where the Empire and Earth would exchange sharp wit and humor to settle differences. General Vaughn was furious. "This is not diplomacy, it's humiliation." Krell raised an antenna in warning. "It might be exactly what we need." Despite his reservations, the Empire's leadership authorized the event, seeing it as a chance to regain some semblance of control, or at least restore their dignity. The broadcast went live across billions of screens. From Earth's bustling cities to the Empire's farthest outposts, the stage was set on a neutral asteroid, a large amphitheater carved from crystalline rock. Humans and alien delegates gathered, buzzing with anticipation. The human team was led by the woman in the hoodie, Maya, armed with a razor-sharp wit and a microphone. The Empire's representative was Ambassador Krell himself, surprisingly selected for his diplomatic skill and surprisingly dry humor. As the lights dimmed, Maya stepped forward with a grin. "Ladies, gentlemen, and starships of all sizes, welcome to the roast battle, where the only thing deadlier than lasers is the shade we're about to throw." The crowd erupted in laughter. Krell cleared his throat, antennae twitching. "Very well, let us begin." The first round was Maya's. With lightning-fast delivery, she quipped, "The Empire's idea of efficiency is building a Death Star that's so easy to destroy. It might as well be made of papier-mâché. Seriously, you guys put the oops in Galactic coup." The humans cheered wildly. Even some alien spectators chuckled. Krell smiled faintly. "An amusing point. Yet, your species' penchant for chaos makes you unpredictably dangerous. Humans are like a virus, messy, loud, and impossible to eradicate." The crowd gasped, then roared. The Empire had landed a burn. Round after round, the insults flew like photon torpedoes. Maya joked about Imperial fashion disasters, comparing their uniforms to glorified bathrobes. Krell fired back, calling humans adorable apes with delusions of grandeur. What surprised everyone was not the venom, but the mutual respect growing beneath the jabs. The Empire's delegation laughed genuinely at the best burns, and humans applauded the clever comebacks. Between rounds, the human DJ spun an upbeat track, and the crowd danced, blurring the line between rivalry and celebration. Suddenly, Maya paused. "You know, for all your talk about order and power, the Empire's got one major flaw. You can't handle a little fun. But that's okay, we'll teach you." Krell nodded slowly. "Perhaps your laughter holds lessons for us all." The final round ended with a collaborative joke, delivered by both sides, about an Imperial general who accidentally signed up for Earth's reality TV show. The audience erupted, cheers echoing across the asteroid dot, back on the Imperator Majestus General. Vaughn was fuming. "This farce undermines our authority." Krell shook his head. "No, General. It builds a bridge across the galaxy." The roast battle became a sensation. Alien worlds tuning in to witness the unexpected alliance forming through humor. The Empire began adopting human customs in small ways. Casual Fridays replaced by casual light years, laughter therapy sessions for officers, and even experimental comedy workshops on Earth. Maya and her team prepared for the next stage, introducing the Empire to the wild, unpredictable spirit of human culture, not with weapons, but with jokes, music, and friendship, because sometimes the greatest conquest is winning hearts and making them laugh. After the Galactic roast, the Imperator Majestus seemed almost lighter. Ambassador Krell found himself walking the corridors, hearing bursts of laughter and impromptu jokes between officers, a sound almost alien in the cold, steel vessel of the Empire. General Vaughn, however, remained a stubborn storm cloud. "This laughter is a distraction. We are warriors, not entertainers." But even he could not ignore subtle changes. Soldiers swapped rigid drills for playful competitions. Protocol officers exchanged stern commands for clever puns. The Empire was unwittingly catching Earth's contagion. Meanwhile, on Earth, Maya and her team worked tirelessly to prepare the next phase. The first official cultural exchange program, the Empire would send a delegation of scholars, artists, and even a few officers willing to embrace the unpredictable spirit of humanity. In return, Earth's scientists would share innovations and, most importantly, humor. The stage was set for what many called the Great Galactic Meet, a summit like no other in New York's Central Park. A massive, dome-shaped pavilion shimmered under a sky of stars, Earth and Empire banners fluttering side by side. Krell arrived with his delegation, still wearing traditional robes, but with a subtle, almost imperceptible smirk. Maya greeted him warmly. "Welcome to the madhouse. Hope you brought your dancing shoes." The opening ceremony began with a fusion of Earth music and Imperial classical themes. Humans and aliens exchanged stories, jokes, and art. Alien painters tried to replicate human memes, while humans struggled hilariously with the Empire's complex calligraphy. One Imperial scholar, fascinated by Earth's slapstick comedy, practiced pratfalls and pin-the-face routines, much to the delight of human children. Yet, not all were pleased. Deep within the Empire, hardliners plotted to sabotage the summit. They saw the laughter and camaraderie as betrayal, a weakening of the iron grip that had held galaxies in line for centuries. General Vaughn was secretly contacted by a shadowy faction called the Order of the Stern Face, who demanded immediate action to restore discipline. Back at the summit, tensions briefly flared when an alien delegate accidentally spilled a drink on a prized Earth Artifactor first edition of Shakespeare's works. "Oh no, sorry, clumsy hands," the alien apologized. Maya laughed. "Don't worry, Shakespeare himself would have loved this. It's just a little liquid drama." The crowd laughed together, but in the shadows, the Order of the Stern Face plotted. That night, a mysterious power surge rocked the pavilion, cutting lights and communications. Panic briefly swept the crowd. Security scrambled. To locate the source, Krell and Maya teamed up, navigating dark corridors and dodging malfunctioning equipment in a hidden chamber. They found the saboteurs attempting to deploy a device that would erase all stored cultural data, memes, music, diplomatic agreements, the very soul of their new alliance. "You can't do this," Maya shouted as Krell confronted the conspirators. "Order must be preserved," one hissed. Krell's antennae twitched. "Order without laughter is tyranny." With quick thinking, Krell disabled the device while Maya broadcast a live message. "To the summit, friends of Earth and the Empire," she said, voice steady despite the chaos. "We stand at a crossroads. We can choose fear or friendship, silence or song. Let laughter be our guide." Lights flickered back on, and the pavilion erupted in applause. The Order's members were arrested, and their plot exposed. The summit resumed with renewed energy. Delegates danced, sang, and shared stories until dawn. Krell, watching the festivities, realized the Empire had changed, not just because of strategy, but because of something deeper. Perhaps the Empire's greatest strength, he mused, is not control, but connection. On Earth, Maya smiled at the stars. "We didn't conquer the Empire with weapons. We conquered it with heart." And somewhere in the vastness of space, the Imperator Majestus echoed with laughter, a sound that would reshape the galaxy forever. The great galactic meet had shifted the tide. What began as skepticism among the Empire's officers had blossomed into genuine curiosity and even affection for Earth's chaotic spirit. The once impenetrable walls of Imperial protocol showed cracks, laughter slipping through the fissures. Yet not all welcomed this transformation. General Vaughn, humiliated and sidelined, conspired to reclaim the Empire's old order by force. He had rallied loyalists, covertly assembling a fleet intent on crushing Earth's insolence and reinstating fear as the Empire's foundation. The Imperator Majestus, once a symbol of unyielding strength, now stood divided, a battlefield of ideology within the stars. Ambassador Krell, sensing the brewing storm, sent urgent messages to Earth. "Maya," he said through a secure channel, "Vaughn's forces prepared to strike. This may be our final test." Maya frowned, rallying Earth's leaders. "If they come, we fight not with weapons, but with everything that makes us human." On Earth, millions mobilize not armies, but artists, comedians, musicians, and everyday citizens armed with creativity. The plan was bold: a massive, planet-wide broadcast transmitting humor, art, and unity straight into the heart of the Empire's fleet. As Vaughn's warships advanced, Earth's communication networks lit up with a symphony of laughter. The first transmission was a montage of human resilience, children playing, astronauts floating in zero-G, firefighters saving lives, interspersed with stand-up comedy and viral dance challenges. Vaughn's officers scoffed, but as the broadcasts continued, showing love, hope, and rebellion through joy. Something unexpected happened. Morale faltered. Soldiers whispered among themselves, sharing the videos in secret. Lieutenant Dara, now a high-ranking officer sympathetic to Krell's vision, approached Vaughn. "This isn't weakness," she said. "It's strength, something you can't fight with weapons." But Vaughn's rage blinded him. "You betray us all." The fleet reached Earth's orbit as Vaughn prepared his command to attack. A new broadcast interrupted live footage from Earth's cities. Millions gathered not to fight but to celebrate. Fireworks, music, and laughter exploded across the planet, mirrored by holograms beaming into space. Maya stepped onto the global stage. "To the Empire's fleet, you can fire your weapons, but you cannot extinguish our spirit. We invite you to join us not as conquerors, but as friends." Silence fell. One by one, warships powered down weapons. Soldiers removed helmets, revealing faces touched by doubt and hope. Vaughn's rebellion collapsed under the weight of unity. In a historic moment, Krell and Maya appeared before both sides, urging peace. "The galaxy's future is not domination," Krell declared. "It is collaboration." The Empire, transformed by laughter and love, embraced a new era, and on Earth, the woman in the hoodie smiled, knowing they had won not through force, but through the power of the human spirit. The moment the Empire's warships lowered their weapons and joined the celebrations. The galaxy felt a seismic shift, not one measured in destruction, but in hope. Ambassador Krell stood beside Maya on the great stage erected in Earth's Central Park, surrounded by an unprecedented gathering of species. For the first time, the Empire's flag flew not in submission, but in partnership alongside Earth's banner. General Vaughn, once the embodiment of cold authority, was escorted away not as a prisoner, but as a symbol of an old order fading into history. "Change is hard," Krell said quietly to Maya, "but sometimes it's necessary." Maya grinned, "And sometimes it's hilarious." The summit that followed was unlike any other. Plans were drafted to rebuild war-torn worlds, to share technology, to nurture cultural exchange, because the galaxy had learned a vital lesson. Laughter could bridge even the deepest divides. Scientists from Earth and the Empire worked side by side, combining advanced technologies with human ingenuity. Engineers developed faster-than-light drives inspired by Earth's chaotic creativity. Artists painted murals that depicted unity and resilience, spreading across space stations and planets. Even the Empire's military transformed. New divisions formed not to wage war, but to organize galactic festivals, comedy tours, and peacekeeping through joy. Maya and Krell spearheaded a project dubbed the Galactic Laughter Network, a communications system broadcasting humor, music, and stories to every corner of the galaxy. Its message was simple. No matter how different, laughter was universal. One evening, aboard the Imperator Majestus now, a flagship for peace, Krell watched a viral Earth video of a baby giggling uncontrollably at a dancing cat hologram. He chuckled softly, realizing how far they had come. "Maya," he called as she entered the bridge. "You were right. This was never just a war." "No," she replied with a smile. "It was a beginning." The galaxy thrived under this new alliance. Borders softened, old grievances gave way to new friendships, and every planet celebrated the annual Day of Laughter, marking the day when the Empire learned to laugh and to live in a quiet moment. Maya reflected on humanity's role in this cosmic story. We didn't just survive first contact, she said. We changed what it meant. Krell nodded. The Empire's strength was not in its weapons, but in its ability to adapt. And humanity reminded us all that sometimes the best response to power is laughter. As the twin suns set over Earth's horizon, laughter echoed from cities to stars, a beacon of hope and unity. Because in the vastness of space, one truth remained eternal. When humanity meets the universe, it doesn't just conquer it, invites the galaxy to laugh along.